Hello, hello, my friends. I know. There's a lot of you guys saying, Katie, it is way too early. But for me, I've been experiencing summer since March, and I am starting to get the itch for fall. And I have a feeling that a lot of candle companies know that as well, because as we head into the month of July, what does that seem to be synonymous with? Fall releases. So in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you candles that I recently purchased from the gift gala from the new Autumn Almanac collection. Now, Shelby allowed her ambassadors the opportunity to pre-order before the pre-order. And so go on a little bit of a story time here with me. This order, I ordered probably, 2 weeks ago now. She got these shipped out to us pretty quickly. However, I don't know what was going on with USPS last week, but you guys may have noticed a lot of fellow Gift Gala ambassadors, as well as my fellow Caramel Sundays ambassadors, all had haul videos go up last week of like all of their pre-orders that they got in. And I was just sitting there watching them like, yeah, mine's still not here yet. So unfortunately, you guys, my candles did not arrive until last Friday, which was when the pre-order for the general public was open. But I'm excited to have them. And the good news is that this collection, minus one candle that you will see today, will be available starting this Saturday, July 4th, America's 250th birthday. You guys know, if you've ordered from Gift Gala before, that one, this is a female-owned small business in Texas. She prides herself in creating 100% soy wax, non-toxic candles, which you guys know, that is my preferred wax formula these days. I did become an affiliate with Gift Gala a couple of months ago after I started purchasing. I purchased, I want to say 2 or 3 times before I applied for the affiliate program. I was introduced to this company by my friend Amy over at Beloved Fragrance Finds. I think she introduced a lot of us to this company, and I think a lot of us are very grateful for that, although our wallets may not necessarily be. But yeah, you guys, there have been some hits, some misses, just like every company, but on the whole, I have been quite pleased with the products that I have purchased. And so, of course, I love fall candles. I have to say, fall candles are probably my very favorite season to purchase from, with Christmas being a pretty close second, mainly because of all of the nostalgia that's usually associated with the season. But yeah, anyways, she opened up this pre-order to us. Gosh, I want to say it was about 2 weeks ago now, the pre-order to the pre-order. And yeah, yeah, USPS just had it out for me last week, which is kind of frustrating because you know what? My dad retired from the Postal Service. He gave like 35 years of service there. And not only that, my grandpa retired from them. I have an aunt that did. Like, we were a post office family. And I was like, this is the treatment that I get. But oh well, that's going to be the end of that little rant. So today's video, I'm just going to share with you guys my cold sniff impressions, let you know what I got. What did I place another order for? Because I have to tell you guys, since these came in last Friday and the pre-order to the public was open, I went ahead and ordered larger formats of the items that I got in wax melts here, and then I ordered 2 other candles. So I will share that with you guys here as well. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do have an affiliate code with Gift Gala. It is Katie10. It'll save you 10% off of your purchase. And let me see, I'll have timestamps. Did I say that already? It's been a little while since I filmed, you guys. You may have noticed I haven't had as many videos go up recently because it's just summertime. I thought I kicked over my water there. But yeah, all sorts of fun stuff to talk about here. So I think I'm going to start out by showing you guys the 22-ounce apothecary vessels that I got. Now, there is a new 4-wick vessel that is very similar to, if you're familiar with Caramel Sundays, I think it's pretty similar packaging, which, if we're being honest, you guys, a lot of these small retailers, I think that there really are so many vessels that they can choose from to pour their wax into. So I'm really excited to see, you know, just to see that we can get some of these fragrances that we really love in maybe some larger formats. So the new 4-wick format is launching with this Autumn Almanac collection. The retail price on that is $67.99. So wanted to let you guys know what the price will be on those. I didn't pick up any of those in the ambassador pre-order but I did place an order for one last week, and I'll let you guys know what it is. But anyways, the 22-ounce vessels here are these cork lids, you know, that they've come to be known for. And let's see, these retail, what did I say, for $34. Says 22 ounces of soy wax. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start out with a bang here, you guys, because this is a good one. This is the fragrance Acorns and Apple Spice. We have fragrance notes of fallen leaves, acorn allspice, golden amber, and heirloom apple. And this is beautiful, you guys. I definitely get like a sweet but almost perfumey type of apple. This is very pretty. Not perfumey in like a perfume that you would wear, but it's apple. The golden amber is giving it a little bit of perfuminess, but this is not like a Granny Smith apple. It's not even like an overly sweet apple. It's not like, I don't know, it's not as bright as like a Macintosh. But, oh, it's just beautiful. Fallen leaves, acorn, and allspice. Yeah, there's something else that almost gives a slightly, I want to say almost like slightly outdoorsy effect to this, but not like in a cologne-ish type of way. And it's not even like Bath & Body Works leaves or say they're autumn. It's not in like a fresh outdoorsy. I think it is whatever she has put together to be like that leaves accord there, as well as it says allspice. Oh, this is just beautiful. And the acorn. I do get the acorn note in here. This is absolutely stunning. Now, I almost placed an order for a 4-wick of this when I opened this up the other day, but I was like, nope, you know what? I'm going to hold my horses. I'm going to burn this and see if I really enjoy it, because this in the 2-wick, you guys, is quite strong. And sometimes one of the things that I have to keep in mind, particularly when we come upon a new season, I'm so excited for the new season that I oftentimes, like, I'll smell a new fragrance and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. And then I go and order a bigger vessel of it. But what I'm finding, especially as a reviewer and somebody who is constantly burning new stuff, I find that by the time I get to the end of a vessel, sometimes I don't necessarily want to burn it again in the same season. So that's the only reason why I'm holding off. But I do have to say this one is very, very good. And I will make sure that I rank all of these at the end of the video for you guys. So that way, if you have similar fragrance preferences as I do, you will know where everything stands. Now, the next candle that I ordered was Pumpkin Spice Latte. Fragrance notes here are roasted hazelnut, toasted pumpkin, cinnamon clove, and whipped vanilla cream. Now, I don't always like pumpkin spice latte fragrances. I am going to tell you guys that. It's not always my favorite, because other than Caramel Sundays Hawkins Autumn, I'm not typically like a big fan of coffee fragrances. I'm one of the few people who did not really love Kringle's pumpkin spice latte that they did in a reserve a couple of years ago. There was something about it that was almost too sweet for me. Bath & Body Works PSL, I like okay, you know. But I like how this is done. I like that this doesn't get too, there's no coffee notes in here, which you'll see. I do get a creaminess of this. This is definitely like a creamy spiced pumpkin type of fragrance. The spice note I get in there of that cinnamon and clove, it smells very similar to the spice note that she uses, say, in her grandma's kitchen. Shelby's used quite a few spice fragrances across quite a few candles actually that I've purchased from her. So if you've purchased any of like her spicy gourmands, the cinnamon and clove note is very similar in this one. But again, this isn't grandma's kitchen. Just a nice spice, but I get some of that hazelnut. I'm very curious to see what this one does while it is burning. But again, not anything that's like truly unique and outside of the box, and yet also that's kind of what I appreciate about it. It's good. Like it's good, but it's not overly conceptual. So that is Pumpkin Spice Latte. The next candle, okay, this is the one, you guys, that will not be available probably until August or September, when I think that she will do like a Halloween collection. But she did put this in the pre-order last week. So let me know in the comment section down below if you were fortunate enough to have ordered one of these. In case you guys also don't know, the other thing about the gift gala that's a little bit different is that she does pour to order. So this collection is going to go live on Saturday, but this stuff is going to be on her website probably for the next few months until she starts phasing it out and moving into her winter collection. So this isn't like, it's a little bit different business model than some other candle brands that I purchase from. So if it's not in your budget yet, if you're not wanting fall candles yet, if you're just thoroughly, truly enjoying summer and you want to wait a little bit longer to purchase these, maybe you want to see some post-burn reviews, you definitely have time to do that. So wanted to put that out there. But with all of that being said, you guys, this is Hallow's Eve. Hallow's Eve has fragrance notes of pumpkin chai, brown sugar, and spiced apples. So pretty basic there with the fragrance note description. Oh, I love this one. This is fantastic, you guys. Now, I am somebody who does tend to like chai fragrances. I know a lot of people have said they don't like it. There was one at Bath and Body Works a couple of years ago that I really liked. I think it was called like Autumn Chai or something like that. I like chai fragrances, but I like that this one is mixed with brown sugar. There's a sweetness to it, but it's not overly sweet. And the spiced apples in here, I think the apple in here is just, it's giving something extra to this. There's something slightly nostalgic about this. Again, you guys, it's very well blended. It's a pretty take on a chai fragrance. I really, really like it. So this is the fragrance that I actually chose to order a 4-wick in last week in the collection during the pre-order, because I know that this one's not coming back until, again, either August or September when she releases her Halloween release. And this is a fragrance that I really, really enjoy. And truthfully, for me, you guys, this is a fragrance profile that I would burn more so early fall. And I feel like this is one that I would want to have my hands on in August or September. So I figured that this was a pretty safe one for me to go ahead and order a 4-wick of. And I figured part of me was a little bit of FOMO, like, oh, this isn't going to come back for a while, so maybe I should get it in that. But that's going to pair beautifully with a lot of other candles that I have in my collection. Now, let's go ahead and talk about, I did purchase 2 candles in wax melts because I wasn't sure, looking at the fragrance notes, what I would think about them, and I did not want to commit to full-size candles. Spoiler alert, you guys, I really like both of these. Again, I'll rank all of the fragrances at the end, but spoiler alert, I did go ahead and end up purchasing these 2 fragrances in the 3-wick hobnail vessel. So let's start out with the first one is Blankets and Books. Blankets and Books has fragrance notes of pumpkin vine, cinnamon bark, clove spice, caramelized amber, and smoldering ember. And this is very pretty. Now, I'm going to tell you guys the reason why I was nervous of the notes. The note that I was most nervous about was the smoldering ember, because I actually was not a fan of Toasted Tides. I did not like that fragrance upon burn. But this, it's the combination of the pumpkin vine. And I like that she says pumpkin vine because there's a little bit that's slightly, I want to say almost slightly green, but not in a spring-like way. It is definitely like the greenness that you would get on a pumpkin vine. Cinnamon bark and clove spice. But again, you guys, the spice note in here is a lot softer. It's not as strong as, say, what I'm getting in the Acorns. What was that? Acorns and apple spice, or like Her Grandma's Kitchen. It's not that strong. It's a softer spice. The amber lends a little bit of perfuminess. This is very, very pretty. Again, one of the things that I think Gift Gala, like her niche, I think is doing very pretty, somewhat conceptual fragrances. You guys know, my 3 brands that I buy from quite frequently are Kringle, Caramel Sundays, and Gift Gala. Those are kind of the 3 that you're going to see highlighted on my channel quite a bit. There's a couple of other brands, like I buy from That Candle Place every once in a while. She does some really good gourmand fragrances. You guys will see other brands sprinkled in here and there. But one of the things that I will say is that if you are familiar with some of those brands, Caramel Sundays does a lot of like really like true gourmand fragrances. Kringle oftentimes likes to go outside of the box, and they can get really into the weeds with conceptual fragrances sometimes. Gift Gala, I feel like, falls in the middle there. She does pretty somewhat conceptual fragrances, but I feel like she doesn't go too far out of the box. And so I feel like that's kind of her niche. And that's what I get here with this Blankets and Books. It's cozy. Oh, but Oh, it's very, very pretty. Perfect for the fall. And then the other fragrance that I picked up in the wax melts is Spice Cupboard. So Spice Cupboard has fragrance notes of cardamom spice, cracked peppercorn, nutmeg, shortbread, aged patchouli, and toasted praline. And you guys know I'm not always a fan of patchouli fragrances. So I saw patchouli and I was like, oh, I don't know. So again, gonna go with the wax melts. These wax melts retail for $7. I actually don't even really melt wax, but I figured that this was a pretty low investment for me to go ahead and just determine if I like the fragrance. I can always gift them to somebody. Okay, this Spice Cupboard, there's something about this that is very nostalgic to me, and I don't know what it is, which is funny because my mom didn't really love cooking. She did like to bake, but by baking, she would bake like chocolate chip cookies or something. My mom she was not very domestic in the kitchen. I'll just say that. She would say that. So it's not like she was this great chef and cook, and our home always smelled like this, but there is something, I'm like, did she have a candle or something like this way back in the day? A perfume, something? I don't know. My nose definitely smells. I get the cardamom spice. The peppercorn in here, though, it's funny when you see peppercorn, you're like, who would want that fragrance? But there's something about that. It, in a bizarre way, it kind of elevates the fragrance even more. Nutmeg. The patchouli gives a little bit of that sophisticated perfuminess. I have to tell you what, Cody smelled this too, and he was like, ooh, that's really good. Like, I was surprised by how much, because I was thinking both of these fragrances, because of the notes I saw in there, I was like, I don't think I'm going to like that much. But I was very, very surprised by how much I liked this. Yeah, there's something about this that just like reminds me of being at home and like the house being clean and like the daylight coming in at a certain angle. You guys have to remember, I grew up in Southern California. So Southern California, where I grew up, and just like Arizona, does not get fall in the traditional sense like most of the like Northeast and the Midwest gets. We don't get that. So a lot of my fall memories are very much associated with fragrance because that's the only way that we can kind of like trick ourselves into thinking it's not still 85, 90 degrees outside. Yeah, I really, really like this one. So I ordered this one as well in a 3-wick. And then I am just going to let you guys know the one fragrance that I don't have here in front of me because we were limited to how many we could purchase in the Ambassador pre-order. I did not initially order Plum Embers, but in talking to my friends McKenna and Amy, they both are fairly confident that I will like that one. So I went ahead and ordered it in a 3-wick as well. But this Spice Cupboard, I got this in, and when I opened it up, I immediately texted Amy and I was like, did you get this one? I feel like I didn't see you talk about this in your video. And she's like, no. And I was like, oh, girl, this is an Amy fragrance. I feel like it is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. That one is very, very good. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the 2-wick amber jars. So I personally don't really care for single wick candles. So when I do order from Gift Gala, it's going to be 2 wicks or more. But I decided to go ahead and order a couple of these 16-ounce amber jars. I believe that these retail for $28.99. These are 16 ounces. You guys are going to see what I'm talking about here in comparison to this kind of apothecary style jar. These are slightly bigger. So this one is Harvest Marmalade. Fragrance notes are apple marmalade, cranberry preserves, vanilla pistachio cream, and cardamom spice. And again, you guys, this one's very pretty. It's sweet. I know that some people were comparing this a little bit to Caramel Sundays Autumn Jam, which, spoiler alert, you guys, I do have the Caramel Sundays fall restock in my hands as well. That video will go up this weekend for you guys. So I'm making y'all wait a little bit longer on that. But side-by-side comparison, here's the thing I am going to say. If you like fragrances like Autumn Jam, I think that you're going to like this, but they are different fragrances. They're not the same to my nose. This to me, like I said, is definitely got more of an apple note in the forefront of it. And it's sweet. It's sweet like a marmalade. I don't really get any of that pistachio cream in here. Nor do I get I get some spice in here, but again, this is a little bit more perfumey sweet, I would say, whereas Autumn Jam from Caramel Sundays, the thing that sets that a little bit apart is the clove. There's a clove and dried wood in the base, And I feel like that definitely comes out in Autumn Jam. I can even smell it on cold a little bit more. So to my nose, they're two different fragrances, but I feel like if you like one, you're going to like the other. This is actually a really nice fragrance. One of the things that I am going to say is that I feel like fragrances like this are really, really good for early fall. If you're wanting those summer to fall transitional scents, like for me personally, this isn't a fragrance that I would burn, say, in late October or November, but this is totally a fragrance that I would burn July through probably late August. I feel like it like sets the stage for the fall season without it being abundantly like I don't know, like a really like spiced apple type of scent. And again, a lot of people, you all burn what you want to burn whenever you want. I myself am a little bit more of a seasonal burner. But yeah, and I can be a little bit more particular about that. Okay, the next candle that I purchased was Whispering Spice. Fragrance notes here are toasted pumpkin, autumn spice, whipped buttercream, and smoked vanilla. So this one, you guys, okay, this I'm gonna say, much like some of the other affiliates who got this have said, I like this, but it's not completely unique and new to my nose. Very similar to Grandma's Kitchen. If you're familiar with Caramel Sundays, Coffin Cake, very, very similar makeup here. I love this fragrance profile. This is a profile that I actually like to keep in my collection pretty much for all fall and winter, to be honest. I like fragrances like this to blend with pumpkin, with apple, with tree fragrances as I go throughout winter. So I'm not mad about this. But this isn't really like a really unique blend to my nose. I feel like I've smelled this quite a bit. So if you like Grandma's Kitchen, if you want something that's maybe more fall associated, I will say that to my nose, this is not as strong on cold as Grandma's Kitchen. Grandma's Kitchen to me is very, very spice forward. The spice is still there, but it's slightly subdued. And I will say that the smoked vanilla and the pumpkin, I think are what make this just slightly different than Grandma's Kitchen. My closest comparison would be if you're familiar with Caramel Sunday's Coffin Cake, it smells very, very similar. Will I still be purchasing Coffin Cake from Caramel Sundays? Yes. Because like I said, that's a fragrance profile that I just like to have in my collection. It's kind of one of my, what I like to call like my basic candles, but they're done very well. And so I mean that in a very complimentary scent because they seem to complement a lot of other fragrances in my collection. Okay, and the last candle that I purchased was Pumpkin Caramel Dreams. Fragrance notes here are pumpkin souffle, golden caramel, maple praline, and toasted pecan. And again, you guys, this is nice. You know what's funny is, sorry, you guys, I am so itchy. I've got the fan on over here and it's like my ears are itching. I'm getting hair in my eyes. I'm just like all over the place. At first, when I smelled this, I was just kind of like about it. But I definitely get the caramel and the maple praline in here and the pecan. There is some nuttiness to this. And then there's a sweetness, the pumpkin souffle at the front there, golden caramel. I'm very curious to see how this will burn. This is another fragrance to me that, again, it's not that it's not a bad fragrance. It's not something that I'm like, ugh, I don't like that. But it doesn't feel overly new to my nose. I feel like this is a fragrance I could have picked up at like Bath and Body Works or something. Although a lot of their fragrances, it's funny. Ever since I've started burning soy wax and I've started shopping from brands that use a little bit higher quality oils, I know people do not like this when I say it, but it's my channel and I'm just being really honest with you guys. When I walk into BBW and I've stuck my nose into candles now, it smells so, it's almost like I can smell something super artificial in their wax formula and in their oils. It's the oils probably that just, they're too much for me, I guess. I don't know what it is, but I just don't find them as enjoyable as I used to. I guess that's the best way that I could say it. But this to me, it's very pretty. I'm curious to see, again, how I will like this more upon burn. So let's go ahead and rank these fragrances just in case you are, this is going to be hard for me, you guys. Okay, I'm going to say number 6 for me is just simply, is going to be Whispering Spice. And again, not because it's a bad fragrance. It's just that I feel like it's been done a lot before for me. So it's not overly new. And I wasn't like Oh, wow. You know, something completely new. Coming in at number, what would that be? 8? What do I have one? Yeah, 8. That was 8. Let's count here. Whispering Spice. Number 7, I'm going to say Pumpkin Caramel Dreams. Again, I like it, but I'm a little bit nervous about the caramel note. And the other thing with caramel is, sorry if that lid is being annoying. Sometimes with caramel too, once a flame gets to it, sometimes caramel notes can very quickly come across as scorched to my nose. So I'm hoping that that doesn't happen. Okay, number, what would that be? 6. I'm gonna say is Pumpkin Spice Latte. Again, great fragrance, but it's not anything overly unique to my nose. Not anything that I've never smelled before, but I do like it. I actually plan to burn that alongside Caramel Sundays Hawkins Autumn. I think that that will be a really nice blend. Okay, next up, I think I'm going to go with Blankets and Books. It's going to be number 5 for me. Yeah, really well done. I like it enough, again, you guys, that I did go ahead and buy it in a candle, mainly because I think that it's going to pair really nicely with a lot of these other fragrances. You guys know I like to burn more than one scent at a time, and I like my fragrances to complement and not clash. So that was number 5. I feel like I've got to like put these all in in order here. Okay, coming in at number 4, I'm actually going to say Harvest Marmalade. If you guys were to ask me, just comparison to comparison, like I said, they are different fragrances. If you were going to say, Katie, do you like Autumn Jam or do you like Harvest Marmalade a little bit more? I am going to give the edge to Autumn Jam, and that's mainly because I like the wood and the dried clove note in the base. But I am not mad at this one at all. This is a beautiful fragrance. Again, this is going to be a really nice candle starting to burn like late July, early August, getting me ready for the next season. Okay, I've got 3 more to go with here. Okay, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Hallows Eve, which you're like, Katie, but you ordered it in a larger scent. Yes, I did, but I told you guys the reason I ordered it in a larger was because I was like, oh, I want to get my hands on it now. I just had a little bit of the FOMO. But I like this. This is very, very good. Okay, coming in at number 2. Oh, you guys, I can't believe. Okay, coming in at number 2 is actually, I think, going to be Acorns and Allspice. Let's pronounce things. That's so pretty, though. This is really hard for me to choose, you guys. But yeah, I'm going to come in at Acorns and Allspice again, maybe because it is it's apple, it's acorn, all of that. But coming in at number 1, you guys, the shocking number 1 for me is Spice Covered. There is something about this. I get that shortbread note in there now too, the more that I smell it. I think one of the reasons why I'm giving this one the number 1 is because not only does it feel nostalgic to me, but I feel like this is one of the more unique fragrances. And I think because I have a lot of apple noted, like I have a ton of apple, I have a lot of pumpkin, I have a lot of, this is just, it's different. It's a little bit different. And so for that reason, I think I'm giving it the edge. Yeah, I'm really excited to have this one in the 3-wick when it shows up on my door. So yeah, that is my ranking. Those are the candles that I purchased. Again, you guys, these are going to be available starting July 4th over on the Gift Gala website. I do have it linked in the description box down below. Let me know in the comment section if you purchased from the pre-order that was open last Thursday and Friday. I would be really curious to see what you guys got. You guys can see I think there's 2 that I didn't try. The cider mill donut I didn't get. Honestly, you guys, it's not that I think that that's a bad fragrance or anything. I think I'm a little bit over that profile. I went pretty hard a few years ago on Homeworks' Hot Cider Donut, and even though that's a fantastic fragrance, I think for me, again, like I was saying earlier, I get so excited about a fragrance and I'll buy a lot of it, and then I'm like burned out on it. Pun intended there, right? It's the same thing as like say Crinkle's Jelly Donut. I'm over it right now. I've had it for a while. It's a great fragrance. I'm so glad that people love it. But for me, I've started to realize like, oh, I smell so many fragrances. I go through so much as a reviewer that I'm constantly craving something a little bit new and different. And you saw that play out here even in my rankings. So I didn't get the cider mill donuts, and I didn't get, there was another one, Cashmere Cabin, I think. I didn't pick up that one. I think they were, a couple of my friends were saying that the one's really heavy on the caramel note. That's what they were smelling on cold. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and pass on that. So, like I said, you guys, this week has been pretty haul heavy. I don't know when, what order I'm going to upload some of these videos. I have a Kringle haul that I'm hoping to share with you guys this week. Still hasn't shown up. I was hoping I'd hear the doorbell while I was filming, but it has not shown up yet. And like I said, this weekend I will have my Caramel Sundays ambassador pre-order to share with all of you guys. I know the other 4 ambassadors shared their thoughts, but again, USPS had it out for me last week, and I figured, you know what, since I am already going to be late to the party, I just might be super fashionably late. And so what I am planning to do is actually burn a couple of the candles that I received in that order, so that way I can give you guys some initial post-burn thoughts about what the fragrances smell like after they've had a flame taken to them, because that's what we all know in the candle community. A lot of the time, warm wax can smell a little bit different than cold wax. All right, that's a long enough video for all of you guys. Again, please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this one. If you feel like you vibe with me and want to stick around for more thoughts, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do try to make sure that I do some dedicated post-burn reviews for all of you guys. But again, because these candles are pour to order, I don't see myself getting dedicated post-burns of these done anytime soon. I am going to be out of town next week. So be on the lookout for them to start probably within the next month or so. But I don't really feel like a pressing need to get these reviewed right away. You guys are always welcome to send me an email. I have that listed in the description box, as well as reach out to me, send me a DM over on Instagram. And I would be more than happy to share my thoughts with you guys if I have started burning any candles, but I haven't publicly talked about them on my channel yet. So you guys always know that. But you also know the drill. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.